Today, let's talk about from hormones to habits and other little known triggers of osteoporosis and what to do about them. So, hi, I'm Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician and a menopause certified practitioner. Let me dive right in. So first of all, osteoporosis is commonly linked to, of course, aging and menopause and lifestyle factors. However, there are less known contributors, and they also play a very crucial role. These causes include lifestyle habits, certain medications, chronic health conditions, and hormonal changes, especially during perimenopause and menopause, which can actually accelerate your bone density loss. So, we're going to talk about how addressing these factors with some preventive measures, like some preventive measures, believe it or not, can actually significantly impact bone health and reduce the risk of osteoporosis. So, let's talk about the top 5 causes of osteoporosis, and I'm going to group them together. So, the first one will be hormonal changes, right, from perimenopause and menopause. And why it matters is that estrogen is vital for maintaining your bone density. And during perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels drop significantly, obviously, but this accelerates your bone loss and putting women at a greater risk of osteoporosis. This period can result up to a 20% bone loss within 5 to 7 years post-menopause. That is incredible. Number two is nutritional deficiencies. Number one, the key deficiencies we need to pay attention to is a low calcium diet, magnesium, and vitamin D intake. Again, this can be an issue in plant-based diets if someone is not really paying attention and eating a wide variety of foods and those dark green leafies and those other things. Some other things around nutrition is the role of salt and caffeine. So excessive sodium can lead to calcium loss through urine, while caffeine can interfere with your calcium absorption, both affecting your bone strength. Number three is lifestyle habits. So let's talk about smoking. Nicotine and other chemicals in cigarettes actually impair calcium absorption and accelerate your bone loss. Then we have physical inactivity. So a lack of weight bearing exercise or resistance training actually limits bone stimulation, which is essential for maintaining the bone density. Number four is medications and chronic conditions. So there are some medications with side effects, certain drugs like glucocorticosteroids. These are things like prednisones. They're often used for inflammatory conditions. There's even some antidepressants that are known to weaken bones when used for long term. And again, we talk about those medications like steroids that are utilized for inflammatory conditions. The actual inflammatory conditions themselves can cause an issue. So the diseases that cause the prolonged inflammation, such as rheumatoid arthritis, can lead to continuous bone resorption or breakdown, often overwhelming the body's ability to rebuild. And number five, I think is surprising for people, is psychological and emotional health, right? So emotional stress and depressive symptoms are associated with changes in hormone levels, increasing inflammation, and disrupting the balance between bone formation and resorption. Of course, it's not a direct causation, but the association is significant. So what do we do? Right. So let's talk about some of the things we can do, like implementing lifestyle and dietary strategies to really help counteract the bone loss and strengthen bone health. So there are 5 impactful actions that will focus on a few different things. And of course, incorporating plant-based sources is important. Number one is boosting calcium and vitamin D intake. So calcium, we want to talk about green leafy vegetables. Think collard greens, kale, bok choy. Almonds, chia seeds, and fortified plant milks are excellent sources. And then these foods can help maintain adequate calcium levels for bone strength. The next would be vitamin D. So, of course, sunlight is essential, as vitamin D is hard to obtain from plant sources. However, there are some mushrooms, think maitake, provides some vitamin D. But I would say you probably want to consider vitamin D fortified plant milks or supplements to ensure that you're getting an adequate amount. Number two is engage in weight bearing and resistant exercise. Why does this help? Well, activities like brisk walking, dancing, resistance training, using weights or resistance bands can create stress on the bones. Remember, these are dynamic organs, right? They respond to the stresses that are put upon them, and then that promotes the bone formation and strength. How often? Well, you want to aim for around 30 minutes, maybe 3 to 5 times per week, focusing on exercises that strengthen the lower body and core. And those are really crucial for bone density. You want to use the big muscles, what we call compound movements. Number three is optimize magnesium, protein, and vitamin K intake. So, magnesium supports calcium absorption and what we call bone mineralization. These are excellent plant sources, include pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, black beans, and quinoa. So, sufficient protein intake is essential to support bone structure, but also important to support muscle growth and sustain your muscle mass. So, plant based proteins such as tofu, lentils, chickpeas, and quinoa are ideal. So, again, you do want to incorporate that as much as possible. And I love the soy component because there's many things about soy that will beyond just the calcium and protein that it has, but also certain phytoestrogens that will stimulate your bone growth as well. So, what I typically recommend is between 1 gram per kilogram of body weight, of your ideal body weight, to 1.4 grams per kilogram. So someone asked me, what does that look like? Well, it really depends on what your body weight we're shooting for, right? So take your body weight, divide it by 2.2 in pounds to convert that to kilograms. And then what you'll want to do is actually look at some of the sources. If you do get the workshop, I have an entire list of what that needs to look like and how to get the foods that you will want to obtain to really support your bone health. But let's say that if you think of one serving of, I think tempeh is around 15 grams, if I remember right, then again, you would say, oh, here's my 15 grams. Let's say I need 50 grams per day. And you just look at the back of the label. You can look it up online and see how much of a serving will give you that much protein, right? So it's really not too hard to calculate, especially if you utilize the same foods over and over again. Looking at the back of the can of your beans, you can see how many grams of protein are per serving, and then just go from there. Again, not too hard to calculate. Next is vitamin K. Leafy greens like kale, spinach, and collard greens provide vitamin K, which again plays a role in bone mineralization. 4 is limit smoking and alcohol intake. Quitting smoking can significantly and reduce your bone loss. Nicotine and other chemicals, again, impair the body's ability to absorb the calcium, but also you're going to be decreasing risk for many other diseases when you stop smoking. So if you're still smoking, I would encourage you, that'd be the first thing that I would encourage you to do. Number 2 is alcohol. Excessive alcohol can disrupt bone remodeling and reduce your calcium absorption. So you would want to limit or eliminate alcohol altogether. I don't drink. I never have drank. So I can't really tell you what it's like to decrease. But if you were like, man, I still want to drink, but if you can limit it to what they consider moderate levels, is 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men. Even that I think is excessive. So any amount of alcohol is toxic to the body, but I'll leave it at it's your decision. Number 5 would be focus on your emotional health and managing stress, right? So why does it help? So chronic stress and depression lead to hormonal imbalances that can accelerate the bone loss, particularly during menopause. So how? Well, practicing stress management techniques like mindfulness, yoga, and engaging in regular social activities can be super helpful. And then seeking support for depression and or chronic stress may reduce related inflammation and support healthier bones. Because when we manage our stress, there's other things that start happening. We sleep better, our mood's better, we make better food choices, so many things improve. And stress is related to so many changes in our body and all the systems. And one of the questions someone asked was, well, how does stress affect the entire body? And I literally went through system by system: your endocrine system, your musculoskeletal system, your immune system, your cardiovascular system, your neurologic system. Stress has an impact on every single system in our body, but it's not normal to be under chronic stress. So mindfulness is a wonderful beginning to that, and understanding how being present can really decrease that stress. But again, this is about osteoporosis, but there's so many things that can come with improvement and just, again, focusing on your stress. So if you had to choose the top 3, I would say to do would be: 1, if you smoke, stop smoking. 2 is eat more plants, especially with those rich in calcium, dark green leafies, and higher protein. And then 3, well, I should say 4. So resistance training, and then I would say manage stress. So those would be the big levers that you're going to see improvement, not only in your bone health, but other things like chronic disease and such, like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension. A lot of those things will start to improve. So, in conclusion, basically, there's biological systems factors like hormonal shifts that occur